All right, and finally, after 3 weeks, we're back.
We are back. Welcome back to another episode of Twitching UpStream, which is it's a cool stepbrother or half brother, sister ordeal thing to Talking UpStream, which is our show that comes out every Sunday. What we do on that show is we interview creators and we talk to people about like what's going on and what their process is in making ideas. And hello, Tina Marie. Hello, Jason Taylor. Hello, Rick Flanagan. Now. Yeah, that's different. Dylan decided that he needed a standing desk because I had one at one point. He also wanted to show off some beautiful art that he obtained.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'm currently in my bedroom because I'm supposed to be doing laundry. So please don't tell anybody that I'm sneaking away and doing a show right now.
Hey, I get you for a few hours a week.
That's true. I know. And that's why I tell everybody. I'm like, hey, look, Dylan deserves his time too.
Yeah.
But anyway, thank you very much for tuning in. At any time, if you have an idea where our story should be going, please just throw it in the chat and we will most likely address it. And if I don't agree with it, I will tell you as such. And also, good question. What is that art?
That is a poster for a short film called The Reward, which was made by a bunch of, I think, Norwegian film students back in 2007 about a Dungeons and Dragons party, a warrior and a mage, and down here in a little corner is a note with a signature from the people who made the film, which Zack found in a thrift store and so kindly gave to me, and he had no idea what he was handing over. So
No, I saw it. It's like, that is dope, whatever it is. And I did research. I'm like, I can't find this.
There'll be a picture up on the Talking UpStream Instagram after the show.
Yeah. And Jason Taylor, thank you very much for not telling anybody that I'm not interested in having that conversation today. If I literally turned the camera just a little bit this way, it would just be disgusting. But anyway, so what we do on this show is we take an idea that we came up with on Talking UpStream with a guest, with somebody interesting that one of us absolutely is in love with or whatever. And then we break it down and we show people how we take that very weird idea, which is sometimes a text message or just something I jotted down on a napkin and almost threw away, but decided to text Dylan instead. And then how we take that and turn it down into a podcast or a movie or blah, 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 blah. Dylan's been working on a board game, which is turning out very, very cool. So there's a lot of things going on. Until we get a couple more people in the chat, we do have some nerd news, if that's okay with everybody. I love gossiping about media and people that have way more money than I'll ever have. And I like to talk about it. Some of my nerd stuff, I like to talk about Star Wars. And I'm not sure if you recently saw this, but Brie Larson is trying to get out of her contracts with Marvel. She's no longer interested in playing Captain Marvel. She's trying to hop into the Star Wars universe. Now, if you had to pick a character in the Star Wars universe that has not been shown on screen yet, are you familiar with like Star Wars lore or the comics or Legends or anything?
Legends, relatively, yes. Not the new stuff so far. I'm not watching Bad Batch. I might get into it. I didn't see any of the new Clone Wars stuff. I'm more like movie, like prime continuity kind of stuff. Yeah.
Well, apparently she's in talks to play Mara Jade, which in the comics and a lot of the book is Luke's wife, and they have a couple kids together, and she is a badass force wielder, and I'm excited for that to happen.
That's an interesting choice.
Yeah, and I would like to see that because I like that character. I think that she's great, and watching how awesome they displayed Rey as a character, obviously flawed as the writing got eventually, but I'm very interested in that arc of a character profile.
Off the top of my head, I probably would have gone with Alison Brie over Brie Larson.
Yeah, that makes sense.
She does a good like intense face.
I think Alison Brie. Oh, sorry, I didn't go with that, but yes, I completely agree. Star Wars is way better than Star Trek. And if you're interested in some of our other movie, points of view or feelings or reviews, we do have another show on Mondays and Fridays called Real Boys, where we take the 5 of our favorite movies and some of our friends that we really just met, some comedians and other podcasters and some people that think they're famous, and we make fun of their favorite movies while also discussing the popular movies that come out recently. One of the upcoming movies that's coming out recently is Snake Eyes, which is another G.I. Joe spinoff. Now, this is the origin story of a snake eye. Now, I have a quick question for you, Dylan. Snake Eyes famously does not talk. In this movie, it is an origin of how he gets to not talking. So how do you feel about a character that doesn't talk and all of a sudden talks?
I really like the character trope of the silent character who only breaks his silence for plot-important revelations. Thank you, Red. There is a series by Glenn Cook from the late 80s called The Black Company. It's about a mercenary company in a fantasy world, and they kind of travel around and discover their origins. And one of their sorcerers in the mercenary company is nicknamed Silent because he took a vow of silence. Nobody knows why. And the only time he speaks in the entire series is a very, very important moment towards the end of the 3rd book, which is like a climax. So I love that trope. I don't care about G.I. Joe. Yeah, I know. I'm unpatriotic. I'm shocked.
What that means?
I'm glad that these things keep getting made because I saw the first one in theaters, and that's a dumb action movie. And when I say dumb, I mean like ice sinking dumb. Yeah. Chunks of ice sinking in water dumb. I don't think. Oh, who was Destro in that first one? It was the Ninth Doctor. It was Eccleston.
I thought that was Joseph Gordon. Oh no, he was Cobra.
He was Cobra. Christopher Eccleston was Destro, and he was so over the top. It was great, and I don't know if he's in the other ones. I
tell you,
Snake Eyes is
a Joe movie.
Yeah, go ahead.
The second G.I. Joe movie is pretty exciting. Not very good. It is just exciting. That's pretty dumb on a scale of none to dumb. What is?
G.I. Joe or pieces of ice sinking beneath water.
Oh, yeah, that is very dumb. I'm not sure if that's even scientifically accurate, but I wouldn't know that. Let's see. No recent decent fantasy movies.
He's asking why we have 3 G.I. Joe movies and we don't have any good, like... Name it? I don't know, because all the good fantasy went to television.
It's because they keep friggin' trying to remake stuff instead of coming up with new ideas. Although I am pretty excited to see Dune coming out. I guess really the only sci-fi fantasy that we have coming up is like what Marvel is doing, unfortunately. But
Shadow and Bone just came out, and I think that's a really decent fantasy television show. It's young adult, but it feels authentic. It doesn't feel like a cynical like cash grab. And it looks really good.
I agree. For YA, it is good. It does even touch into some adult a little bit, but I agree. I had a good time watching on Netflix. And if you don't know, I do a weird show on the Jeff Dwoskin show every Wednesday night called the Netflix Metrics, where I go over what America is watching on Netflix every single day. Goodbye, Tina. Thank you for stopping by. We appreciate you. And Purple Hearts.
Glad you're back too.
Yeah, for real. Yeah, your voice is definitely missed around here. So speaking of Marvel stuff, before we hop into what we do, the Thor movie, I was actually looking over the cast list of this, and I realized that this is a huge movie. What do you think can possibly happen in a movie that has, obviously Chris Hemsworth and Natalie Portman, right? So you have Natalie Portman's partner, Darcy. You also have Thor's partner, like Korg, Meek, and Valkyrie. You're going to have the other Asgardians. We also know that half of Guardians of the Galaxy are going to show up. Not to mention Sif is still there. You also have Russell Crowe playing, I think, Zeus. You have Melissa McCarthy playing somebody. We definitely have Matt Damon coming back. There's so many people. Sam Neill's coming back.
I wouldn't be surprised if some of these are cameos or one scenes people. Like Sam Neill, the Lesser Hemsworth, and Matt Damon are all going to be cameos, I suspect. Because in Ragnarok, they played just like the theater troupe or something.
Right.
I don't think they're going to have actual parts unless they do the thing where it's like they were secretly an important character, which I don't think they're going to do. But I mean, we're getting to this point now where Disney and Marvel specifically are getting so saturated in big names that it's going to start being difficult to like balance all of these people, and eventually they're going to have to start just trimming it, you know? Maybe.
I mean, you have who's the main bad?
And it's Gore the God Killer, isn't it?
Yeah, Christian Bale. Yeah, Gore the God Killer. So, which means you have a Taika Waititi crazy movie where we set up how wild Thor is, and then you're going to have real thick, hammy Christian Bale coming in to be a very dramatic, a very important and heartfelt character. It just seems like this movie is going to be so huge. I don't understand it.
The inclusion of like Zeus implies that they're probably going to go outside the Asgardian pantheon. So who knows? I mean, I suspect you're probably only going to see the Aesir in like a single scene where to establish how powerful Gore the God Killer is. You know what I mean? Like the war where you do the wharf thing with the Norse gods.
Yeah.
Before they have to go to Asgard and deal with that. I think we're probably going to get a situation similar to, and I'm going to call it right now, No Way Home, the new Spider-Man movie, where it's like everybody thinks it's going to be this massive spanning thing, but I think most of the parts are going to be pretty bit.
Yeah. Now,
I don't think that movie is going to be nearly as big as people think it's going to be either.
Do you know anything about Gore the God Hunter?
Very, very little.
Yeah. So, I guess I'm not going to go into it. We don't have a lot of time for that. But basically, he has this necro sword, which is kind of the spirit of Null, who is the reason that there are symbiotes out there. So the sword that Gore holds is part symbiote, which could be a way that they start bringing in weird stuff into the other universe. I don't really know.
I knew this was going to be a controversial one.
Huh. Okay, so A, I love Jojo Rabbit. B, I will say that Ragnarok as a MCU movie is one of the best ones out there because of what Taika did within the restraints. I don't know if I hope that Ragnarok doesn't take anything away from Jojo Rabbit, because that is a beautiful little gem of a movie.
If that's an issue, then just watch Hunt for the Wilder People, and you'll get that respect right back. That movie's fantastic.
Yeah, or even Eagle versus Shark.
Eagle versus Shark. Yeah.
Okay, and then obviously, I think the one person that is not going to show up in the Thor movie is Loki. I think because of his spin-off series, he's got a little too much to do, and I think it would make the show feel weird if Loki showed up in that movie. And do you have any ideas on the Loki show? Do you have any thoughts on that?
When does that start? I had the impression that they were going to do WandaVision 1 week, Falcon Winter Soldier 1 week, Loki, but they're clearly not.
Yeah, so it's the June 9th is when that starts. So we have a couple more weeks. They wanted to let a little Star Wars time sink in and give the Bad Batch a little bit of airtime.
Okay.
They're trying to revitalize the Star Wars universe through Dave Filoni.
Yeah. I'm curious about the Loki series because it's a different version of Loki that we know. It's a Loki who hasn't had all the character development. And
yeah, I love that comment. I think it'd be so cool if he showed up in DCU. Now, if you don't know about what that show is going to, you're going to go through different universes of Loki. Yeah. You're going to get, Girl Loki. You're going to get President Loki. You're going to get all the nasty Lokis. You're going to get a bunch of weird stuff. While the regular Loki that we're following is changing up the history books, kind of the way I guess Legends of Tomorrow does.
They better do gender swap Loki at some point, just because it's such a major part of not only the Marvel character but the mythological character.
Yeah, female Loki will 100% show up there.
Like Loki has kids in Norse mythology. Like kids, they're a giant wolf and a woman who's half dead, but still.
Yeah, true. No, she will 100% show up, and I'm excited about that. All right, do you happen to have any nerd news you want to go over before we hop into what we're getting into today?
The Green Knight trailer dropped last week.
Yes, if you have not seen
I
that.
am pumped for that movie. I'm going to go back
Yeah.
to theaters for that one probably.
Yeah, which is one of the few ways that you can get like an Arthurian tale that I'm interested in whatsoever. So I'm really glad that especially A24 with the talent and the money that they can get to do beautiful things. So cool.
I mean, Love and Thunder is going to have Natalie Portman take up the hammer allegedly. So yeah.
Yeah, 100%. And if you don't know, Natalie Portman, her character has she has a form of cancer. Every time she becomes Thor, cancer goes away. Whenever she stops becoming Thor, she goes back into remission and stuff. So it's a pretty terrifying tale, and I think they're going to really get into that. But also that Dave Bautista is showing up in that Army of the Dead movie, and
he's a star.
He's a star. He also has recently come out and saying that he is not going to be Drax the Destroyer anymore. He will not play that character anymore. And I think that means that character will be retired, right? You can't recast that character, can you?
No, you can't. And I think Drax's shtick got old.
Yeah, I agree.
Like in the first Guardians, he was a pretty straight character. Like he was weird because his race doesn't understand idioms. But as it went on, he just became just straight comic relief, which is the unfortunate just kind of like problem that a lot of these characters undergo as you go through more like stuff.
Yeah, I agree. Okay, so what we do on the show, like I said earlier, and once again, anytime if you think that our story should go in a different way, if you think a character should be different or we should ask something, just go ahead and throw it in the comments. That's totally cool. That's the way that our brains work. Dylan and I both have attention deficit issues, and we need constant yelling and ideas to make anything work. Okay, so what
I'm like a shark. If I stop moving, I die.
Yeah, if I stop talking, people don't think about me anymore, and I can't have that. So what we've been going on over the last couple of weeks here is we've been going over this concept of phantom limb, and I'm going to let Dylan kind of go over the process that we've taken to get where we are, and then what we're going to do with the rest of the time today.
Yeah, so what we do on Talking Upstream and Twitching Upstream in the early days, I'm going to pop the screen up right now. This is our development document for the Phantom Limb story. You can find it on, I think, episode 2 of Twitching Upstream, where it's effectively the idea of a surgeon who gets kidnapped by a cult/gang in order to magically, surgically enhance their foot soldiers. This first bit is just the summary that we came up with during the actual episode itself. It's real simple, line by line. This happens because that this happens, then this happens. Because they can't do that, this happens. That's how it goes. Then we used a method from a book called Save the Cat, which is a pretty well-regarded film writing manual about splitting up into beat sheets. Movie beats are the individual plot points that you'll generally see. If you're describing a movie to someone where you go like, and then Thor gets kidnapped and teleported to this, the planet or something with it's been a while since I've seen that. That's what a beat is. It's an individual part of a story you use to describe the story to someone. Save the Cat outlines 15 specific beats, such as the opening image, where you kind of establish what the movie is about. The theme of the movie is stated, which establishes the stakes. The catalyst, which is the inciting incident, which is what you generally hear people refer to it as, all the way down to the final image, which mirrors the first while showing how the main characters changed. We took those beats and we put them in scene breakdown. Usually the recommendation, the new school recommendation, is actually 9 beats. Each beat has 3 scenes, and each scene should be about 3 pages. Gives you about a 90-page script, which is what you want for a feature. We're doing a little bit of an older school approach, so this is just a little weirder, which is fine. We're amateurs. I'm amateur, at least. So over the past few episodes, we've been just spinning the story out into something that is far, far more in-depth. You can see here that, Red here is suggesting that we have a Cincinnati tour guide as a character who only explains stuff to the characters in the movie and therefore the audience as to why it's interesting enough to be a set-in. We do Cincinnati, I think, because I don't think I ever want to set anything in New York City ever again. I'm tired of it. New York City and San Francisco or LA. Yeah, I'm bored. I'm bored of those settings. You have enough.
Yeah, me too.
There are moral monuments that you can destroy, moral landmarks you can go for. And And I grew up in Ohio. Cincinnati is fine, but it's a big city, and it's diverse enough that you can have a pretty good cast of characters in it. It's not like Cleveland, where the river caught on fire, which is unfortunate, but hey, what are you going to do? Anyway, so we spent the last few episodes just kind of like going through these scenes and picking out individual images, maybe lines, spending a little bit of time developing these characters so that when we sit down and actually get the script kind of pounded out, we have an outline that we could stick to. And then eventually at some point, we hope to do a table read for you folks that you can get at a later date.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of what we're doing. Yeah, this is just a development meeting that you guys are able to sit into and kind of toss your own comments in, and we can integrate or ignore them as we go.
Easily.
I can have a cameo as the tour guide in the establishing shot. Why not?
Yeah, I like that a lot.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so what we got to do for the rest is finish up the rest of the story, and then kind of hit some real key plot points on this, and kind of I guess wrap this thing up in a way where we can come back to it quickly, open it back up, and knock it out. Right?
Yeah, that's what we're here for.
Cool. All right, so 17.
Yeah.
Right? You just want to hop into it?
Yeah, let's just do it. Cool. I'm going to hit the previous beat just to remind people where we were, because it's been a few weeks. So we have a surgeon. He took a Hippocratic oath, which is why he is so good at doing surgeries. He's never lost anybody. A magic/occult gang in Cincinnati realizes that their boss has been cursed. So they are kidnapping this doctor so he can remove the curse and then they keep him around, because you don't want a doctor to be out there talking about the truth behind how your gang took up so much territory. The surgeon, his name is Thaddeus Cole, meets up with Hidalgo a few times. Hidalgo has a little apprentice who is upset that he seems to be replacing her with Cole. So there's some tension there. We have Chaz, the little demon the enforcer, who eventually becomes more demonic and will eventually lead a coup against the leader. We have a few different Cincinnati street gangs, including ghost smugglers, D&D style rogues, werewolf gangs, fish people who live in the river and they have reverse scuba suits. Yeah, and we're getting up to, let's see, Cole's been offered a spot with the gang. He's like, hey, you paid my family to make up for the fact that they think I'm dead. I guess I'll do what you need me to do. He has a little spat with the other surgeon, and here we are. This is this will be scene 17. Cole does more surgeries. He goes on more ride-alongs. He grows closer to Hidalgo. Renee starts getting jealous and worried that she'll be replaced. Cole gets a reputation among the gangsters as a good guy, and there's some implication they might respect him more than they respect Hidalgo. Hidalgo watches him with suspicious eyes. So this is spun out from a beat called Fun and Games in Save the Cat, where the character has kind of grown accustomed to where they are, and you see them find their footing. So if we have any specific images that we can put him in, this is where they would go. It would be things like perhaps there's a scene where the gangsters they invite him to do something. Maybe they all go out. I mean, they got to socialize at some point, right? Maybe they invite him somewhere.
Yeah, I feel like this scene has to be the thing where it is a gathering where everyone's together. Somebody gets hurt, and it's not even something that Cole would need to do, but he just helps out just because he now is part of the crew. So I do like the idea of like a gathering or even like a company party.
He helps them move.
Yeah, and then somebody just twists their ankle, and he just helps him with that.
Yeah, he helps with some minor injuries. I like the idea of him at some sort of social event. Maybe they're playing cards and they invite him to play poker with them.
Yeah, like he was doing something, and as he's leaving, they're all playing cards, or hanging out, and they're like, "Hey, why don't you hop on here?" And maybe that's kind of thing.
The experience in Cincinnati. Go for it.
All right, so character-based episode. Cole kicks back, rides the Cincinnati subway, gets a Cincinnati hot dog, goes to the world-famous skyscraper, crosses the suspension bridge to the big hillside sign, etc. I like that. I think I don't know what a Cincinnati hot dog is, but I have heard of Cincinnati spaghetti, and that kind of freaks me out.
Yeah,
not really.
Why?
I mean,
it's spaghetti with chili. Yeah, it's meat sauce.
It doesn't freak me out. I don't understand it, but I would eat it. Yeah,
it's different. Therefore, it's scary.
Yeah, I honestly don't even know why I said scary. It's a fine dish. It seems like a lazy morning after kind of dish, which I think Cincinnati's like a lazy morning after kind of city. It's like, oh yeah, we probably should have did that. Let's take care of that.
Every time I've woken up in Cincinnati, I've been hungover. That's not a lie.
True. Yeah. I know you talk about Cincinnati very, very fondly. All right. So the gangsters invite Cole to a poker game. The gangsters talk about how Hidalgo is a boss, so he never hangs out with them. I like that. Yeah. And then Cole just befriends them. Now, we do need something in this scene that lets I guess the gangsters know that Cole's a little more on their side, right? Like he's a little more friendly. Is that what we're looking for? Or just basic camaraderie is what we're looking for?
We need to have the thought in the audience's mind that Cole might have a realistic chance at deposing the crime boss. So we could have him somehow, like, maybe he's just looking to not make any of them uncomfortable, and he's like, he tries to defend Hidalgo and then winds up just kind of like acquiescing to them being like, yeah, I know interacting with a manager is always really strange. And he tells a story about something that happened with like a hospital administrator.
Yeah. I like that. I also like the idea of maybe that the gangsters here are giving Cole some maybe more intimate information. Like, hey, just so you know, we checked on your kids and they're fine. We gave them some more stuff. And they didn't have to do that, but maybe letting the audience know that the gang is kind of getting more on Cole's side in case like a coup does happen or no.
Yeah, no, yeah, that's like, it's, we work for him, but you're really cool. And then he has that moment where he goes, wait a minute. Yeah.
Cool. I'm into that. And then is there more you want to get out of the scene? Because obviously Hidalgo has to come by there. And then they're like, hey, boss, why don't you come in too? And he's like, no, we have to work.
Maybe. Or
is Hidalgo just watching over like closed caption television?
No, I think what if they were on another like job or something, like a mission, and you see some of the gangsters defer to Cole instead of Hidalgo, and then they catch themselves?
Oh, that's cool. Like something happens and they have to like, oh, we should call Hidalgo, and go, well, what would Cole do? Or maybe like that kind of thing. Is that giving him too much clout in this gang already, or no?
I mean, think about it from the people on the streets point of view. They're like, Hidalgo tells us what to do, but Cole brought Chaz back from the dead. Like,
that's true. Or
this,
maybe
this dude knows what he's doing, and he's also a nice guy.
I like that. We could also do something similar to like if something happens and Cole just hops into action instead of them deferring to Cole. Like, hey, we should call Hidalgo or whatever, and then Cole just goes and does whatever needs to get done. That way, like, oh, Cole's also a boss. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, we see his management come out because he was a head surgeon. So
yeah. But we need to show Hidalgo finding this information out though.
I think Hidalgo's along on the raid or whatever, and he's there when like maybe he gives an order about something like magic or occult, and they look at Cole first, and then they look at Hidalgo, and then go do it.
Oh, cool. All right, that's good. All right, and then next we have the gangsters are ambushed on a raid by the 6th Street gang, and Hidalgo's son is brought in bad shape. Cole operates on him, but Renee sabotages him, and Sonny dies on the table. Hidalgo is distraught and locks Cole up. Sorry.
Yes. So this is the descent for the character, or at least this is when Save the Cat refers to it as the dark night of the soul, which is the moment where the hero has things go badly and has to claw themselves back up for the third act. Yeah. Cincinnati Hold'em for poker.
Cincinnati Hold'em? There needs to be a joke about Cincinnati Hold'em for poker. One of the guys cheats / is a rat. They cut his hand off and leave it on the table holding the card. Is that that's cool? Yeah, I'm into that. That's
I
really
like
cool.
that.
Maybe just Cole fixes it. Like, look, guys, you just can't be cutting hands off here. That's not the kind of gang we're running anymore.
I can never spell Cincinnati correctly. I think I did. Okay. Man.
Well, it's not underlined.
It's not, but it was briefly. But I think that's just Google Docs being weird. Anyway, so
your almost typo cost 5 viewers, just so you know. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah.
It's okay. Hey, you're the writer here. I mean, that's why you got the standing desk.
So I can do the comical crouch out of frame.
Yeah.
So this is the moment we needed a moment for Cole to lose Hidalgo's trust and really like get in trouble. And I think we figured out that the best way to do that was to have him fail. Yeah. But in order to keep it so that he's skilled enough to maintain, it's Renee's fault. She sabotages him.
I like that. How can this work knowing Cole's power?
I think she interferes in some way that nobody catches on.
I like that.
Yeah, that's a pretty good alternate spelling. I wonder how long you were thinking about that.
But his power specifically doesn't allow him to fail.
Right. So she maybe gets in the way or something, or somehow we had tossed around the idea in the episode about somehow stealing his power, how she tries to steal his ability or nullify it briefly. Maybe if his ability is magic, so traditional mythology is that iron has a weird disruption effect on magic. So if she tries to like hands him an iron scalpel or something and then intentionally messes him up, then it could get in the way of him being magically skilled.
So then this will be the first time he fails at a doctor's stuff.
Yeah. I don't report to you.
Okay. For those listening to this, Red Flanagan, can you put that back up for me real fast?
Yeah, sure.
Red Flanagan just commented that his impeccable comedic timing is only limited to Dylan's display on-screen timing, which is true. Dylan, he is a mastermind of timing, and if there are comments that get posted, it's because Dylan chose him to be there. Not
Nobody
because I've actually
upstages me.
Yeah, that's true. So
except Zack.
Sometimes I also have the ability, which I'm trying very hard to do. Okay, so in this scene we need to have this is Hidalgo's son, right? This is somebody that Chaz is in love with and was going to take over for the crime boss.
Now we have the potential implication. There is a negative trope called barrier gaze, where you have a gay character die for no other reason than they happen to be gay and be the character that dies.
Okay, so he doesn't have to die, though. Just the doctor has to not succeed right away. So as long as the doctor fails the operation in a way where Hidalgo has to question Cole's either, because obviously if he physically cannot mess this up and he does so, Hidalgo could easily take this as he's choosing to kill my son. So there could be that thought process. Now, obviously, what's the son's name again?
Sonny.
So, oh god. Okay, cool.
We didn't have anything.
Yeah. Red Flanker says true power lies in the hands of those who host the call and can mute all dissenters. That's true. And honestly, you don't know this because he is standing, but Dylan is wearing a cape and he takes it very seriously.
COVID was a real strong power redistribution in the realm of video calls.
Yeah. You know what? I'm not listening to you ever again. Okay, so we don't really need much in that other than the doctor fails. Sonny is left in a state of uneasy.
It's unsure if he'll survive. He left in like a coma or something. It could have been a magical operation. Could have been something that Cole has never done before.
Yeah.
Surgery. So I want to nail this because this is like a big emotional turning point for the movie.
Yeah.
It's a surgery Cole has never done, and Renee gives him the wrong procedure. or something.
Well, maybe Renee is the one who comes in and saves Sunny.
And then she blames him.
Yeah. And she's like, no, what are you doing? That's not how you need to do this. And then Sunny starts like taking like a little dip, like it's like, you know, like the EKG meter goes. It's probably EKG. I have no idea. Is that for
sure,
radioactive?
whatever.
Whatever. And then maybe Renee pushes Cole out of the way. Cole's like, I didn't know that I could mess up. And then Hidalgo's like, you're not taking this seriously. This is my son's life. And that way Sunny's not dead. The intent still goes.
Hidalgo thinks that Cole is intentionally messing it up to take over.
Yeah.
Like, once you get my son out of the way, I'm gonna have to name you the next guy.
Yeah.
I've seen how the guys look up to you.
Yeah, and maybe Hidalgo kind of feels. Yeah, he kind of feels him as like a Jafar. He's like, look, you're just trying to take over.
Yeah.
You're trying to kill my son. You're trying to take over my whole gang. I saw you down there playing quarters with those kids. You're too cool. You're too cool for this.
I saw you playing Never Have I Ever.
Yeah, and you were drinking a lot.
Yeah.
All right, so 19. Cole tries to escape once more, but the spell in his room prevents it. Renee visits to gloat and reveals her betrayal, and that Cole will probably get killed for this, as well as his family. Okay, cool. Yeah, this seems pretty self-explanatory.
It's pretty straightforward. She shows up and she's like, ha ha, did it.
So is it a scene where she tells him, like, hey, just so you know, I even messed up that operation there just to show you that you're not great. Like, kind of gloating?
I don't think it's that overt, but I think she shows up and says a few things that have like a really strong implication, and Cole's a smart guy, so he's like, you engineered it. And she goes, never failed before, have you?
She's like,
until I was here.
Either way, he's going to kill your family.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, cool. Is there any more you want to go through in 19?
I don't think so. This one's pretty straightforward. This is, the hero at their lowest point. You always see this before it pushes into the third act. So we just need to show that Cole is messed up from this.
All right. Beat 20. Now we have Cole reaches out to Chaz and says he was betrayed by Renee. Chaz, distraught, decides to help Cole escape if Cole helps him overthrow Hidalgo, and they agree. All right, so obviously Chaz knows that Cole's not a bad guy, so that's why this goes down. What do you see in the scene? What do we need here?
We need a way for Cole to get the news to Chaz. That's the big drive of this scene. We need to show a clever way that Cole gets this information out of his room. Okay,
so we now will Hidalgo trust Cole to like just go check up on Sunny? Probably not, right? So
no,
there's no chance in Cole leaving the room.
No.
So Chaz has to get in there.
So what I'm thinking this could be is that Cole has been in the magical world for a while at this point. Maybe he picked up a few tricks and he's like, okay, so I'm going to pull from my own just kind of like genre stuff. Oh, hey, Red, you're a little ahead of the game, kind of. But that's a good idea.
All right, Red's comment is, if Renee's going villain route, she makes a deal with a demon for a magical operation, trademark, toy, from which is works as a voodoo doll to sabotage the gang Cole's patient. Oh, yeah. Yeah, a little ahead of that. Yeah, I get it. I like that.
But I was saying, what if Cole has gotten like some sort of magical knowledge and he's like, all right, oh, I have one. Early on, we introduced some sort of subplot where Cole is like, maybe he likes to journal or something. He writes his day down every day just to keep himself accountable. And Chaz gets him a special pen. Like, he gets him a pen. It's a nice pen. He's like, hey, thanks for doing that. I know you're always writing stuff down on your notebook, so here's a pen and a notebook. And you don't think anything of it. Cole, who has now studied magic fairly, is like, this pen and this notebook have a link to Chaz. So he somehow does like some sort of sympathetic note where it's like, he doesn't get the exact words down, but he writes something like help over and over again, like over top of each other to lend it weight. And then Chaz shows up and he goes, hey, I figured I'd just check on you. I had this weird feeling. And Cole's like, it worked. Okay, this is what's going on. We show that he's clever.
I like that. I like that idea 100%. There is the flip-flop of that, which could also work depending on how you want to tell it, which was the only thing they give Cole is a diary for him to write in. Now, magically, it does transfer to somebody else so that somebody else can read it. And maybe Chaz is in charge of reading that diary. But I do like what you're saying, too. That's cool, too.
I do like the idea that they gave him a diary with like a surveillance spell or something where it's like everything he writes gets doubled down on like their watch or something, and he knows about it eventually.
Yeah, and Chaz or doesn't, and Chaz because Cole's not trying to do anything bad, so he's actually writing the truth, and Cole's reading or Chaz is reading this thing, and he's like, oh, he actually wasn't. He's like, oh, he grabbed the iron. Oh, iron. Why? Renee would know that iron did. Huh. Okay, this is pretty interesting. And then maybe that's when he goes. Because I do like the idea of an enchanted notebook. I do think that it would be cooler if it is a surveillance tool. That seems fun.
So I said that if you want to go ahead and read that.
Yeah, so we have the gangsters gave Cole a diary with surveillance spell, and Chaz oversees it. He's checking up on Cole and comes to see what's up. The iron tool tips Chaz off. Right, because Chaz would know because he's just living this world.
Yeah.
I think it's cool. All right, and that's cool for 20, right?
Pretty much. And then, I mean, it doesn't take much because at this point, Cole and, Chaz and all of the other gangsters are like, they like Cole enough to be like, yeah, Hidalgo Renee's tricky. Should have seen that coming. But Hidalgo's compromised. Yeah.
Yeah. Red Flanagan said the journal's a great idea. The idea is a great way to advance the plot. I think it's a really cool idea. Yeah, good idea, Dylan. That's really cool. So now we know that Chaz knows that Cole is not a bad guy. He wasn't trying to kill Sonny. And maybe Sonny's still like not 100% well, and maybe somehow Chaz smuggles Cole to save Sonny's life 100%, and that gets everybody on Cole's side, or at least I think. Do you get that?
We can add a scene. Yeah, we might as well just add one where it's Chaz smuggles Cole into Sonny's like convalescent.
Because maybe Renee's like doing some kind of like anti-fully healing spell so that she feels like Hidalgo needs her or whatever. I think that's cool. All right.
If Cole saves Sonny.
Yeah.
Renee has been tampering with Sonny's health. Cole uses his newfound magic knowledge to remove the unhealing spell and restore Sonny's health, and he starts to recover. Yeah. And then Chaz is like, "All right, you're the real deal. Let's get the boys together."
Yeah, I like that.
That's
cool.
And then he demons out. He demon hulks out.
Yeah. All right, 22. Action scene as demonic empowered Chaz fights the loyalist gang members with Cole and his friends along with him. I would also assume that maybe Cole can give gang members subtle enhancements. What do you think about that? Like he kind of like, hey, here's a couple of vitamin pills that will make your legs faster.
Or something he has some sort of like Cole uses minor enchantments. If
a doctor has like magical abilities with a doctor knowledge, and say that doctor had the knowledge of what's needle therapy, acupuncture, right?
Acupuncture. Oh, and yeah.
So let's say that he knows how to use acupuncture a proper way to unlock certain things, and he's like, look, I'll tell you, I think I can do this, and now the gang's like, cool.
And you got some cool imagery there too of like these guys where he like sticks they have the needles down their shoulders or something, and he sticks one last one in, and all of a sudden he like you see them physically get bigger.
Yeah. And like he does it like in their face and like their eyes get whatever. Yeah, something like that.
Hold on. My mom texted me the correct spelling of Cincinnati.
What
Hi,
are we
Mom.
still?
Anyway.
Hey, Miss Terry.
Unrow, she kept her maiden name, but that's okay. Everybody does it.
Oh, I'm sorry. Hello, Dylan's mommy.
Anyway, so yeah, they're using acupuncture. Any other sort of like magical stuff you could see a doctor doing for this?
Yeah, I'm just trying to think of like things that doctors can do, you know.
Yeah.
And I think acupuncture is very cool.
Yeah,
I can't really think of anything.
This is live, Mom. Hi. Anyway,
she's watching this later, going like, "Ah, that's stupid, Dylan. He never learned Cincinnati." Yeah, I think we can come back to that, but I think that scene's kind of like put together pretty well.
Yeah, no, I mean it's an action scene, which when you're script writing, your action scenes.
Dry needling is the non-spiritual Western medical equivalent of acupuncture. Maybe we see Cole do this, then later we see him studying acupuncture as a subtle build-up to Chekhov's needle. Chekhov's needle. That's a cool idea. Yeah, I've had dry needling and what they call pistoning, and I do not like it.
Yeah.
Hello. Thank you for spelling. Thank you for spelling words better than Dylan can.
Where do you think I got it?
Yeah,
clearly not her. So yeah. This
all right, so 23.
Well, real quick on writing action scenes, because we had a fight scene planned out for our short film, which had like actual shots on it, and ultimately it's like it's either difficult it's difficult to coordinate or choreograph that. But when you have the budget, usually what you do is each line is like kind of a sequence where it's like so-and-so gets knocked to the ground and stuff like that. But you don't want to give them too much, because if you give them too much, you're doing the director's job for them, and you don't want to do that. Yeah. So this action scene is effectively just going to be like they go room to room clearing out gang members using Cole's magical enhancements. That's it. Yeah. And it's up to the director, the choreographer, the cinematographer to actually translate that to on-screen action.
Yeah, because like Dylan said, in the movie that he wrote for us, Give Me Back, which we're checking out one of the edits today. Yeah. We're about to put sound onto it.
It's almost picture locked.
We had we did build this action scene where somebody dies with a trowel, and then as we started filming it with the director, it's like, I don't know if we can actually do this. Like, let's think of a better way to show it so it's still getting across. So yeah, that's why you gotta leave some things kind of vague unless it's necessary to the plot. That's what we learned out, or else you're just being novelistic with things. Okay, so 23. They reach Hidalgo, who's been taking demon enhancements from Renee. Though they're imperfect. When it looks like things are lost, the hero is overcome by revealing it was Renee's duplicity, which kills Sonny. Hidalgo dies and Chaz rises. Red Flank says, I don't remember either you or Zach's mom being on Mother's Day stream. How dare they?
I don't think we did one on Mother's Day. We definitely put up a Talking Up stream.
Yeah, we did take Mother's Day off.
Yes, we did.
I forget why. I don't actually remember 100%, but we definitely did.
You had specific plans, and then I called my mom and I talked on the phone.
Yeah, I had planned.
Or we video chatted something.
I was probably desperately avoiding texting my parents, so that's
fair.
All right, so anyway, this scene seems pretty well tied up. What can Renee do? What are some things that Renee can do that are imperfect?
Rushed part of full disclosure, I have like a page and a half of the script kind of done, which is that really not much. It's really not much. It's the opening scene between Hidalgo and Renee, and I had started planting the seeds that she is eager to start and hasn't actually done a whole lot of it. So I figured this would be that moment where you reveal that the apprentice has taken shortcuts and it comes back to bite them in the ass. So, I mean, it can be whatever weird magical stuff we want.
So kind of the same stuff that what Cole's doing, just maybe uneven and wears off faster.
So it's like the magical equivalent of the cyberpunk back alley surgeon, where you get those like cybernetic enhancements, but it gets done by like a guy who's doesn't have a medical license, or he's performing it in like a dingy apartment with plastic sheets. It's that sort of thing. She doesn't know what she knows the theory, but she's never done the practice. And we see Hidalgo. I'm imagining the imagery that's coming to mind, and forgive me for this, is the bad guy at the end of League of Extraordinary Gentlemen taking too much Jekyll and Hyde potion, and he gets all big and like his arm is mismatched. Like
So I for some reason was seeing like Renee maybe doing her own side studying or side experiments where she's putting animal body parts onto other gang members and then she unleashes all them. So it's like enhanced dudes with acupuncture needles versus like guys with jaguar legs.
And depending on how dark we want to go, we can have some really kind of like you do magical surgery, you can do some messed up stuff. There are some movies out there where there's some real like brain twisting stuff going on.
Well, one of the ideas that I texted you pretty early on in our I need to text as many ideas as possible was it was a biohacking thing, but I think the way that I tried to sell it to you was these guys get eagle eyeballs put into their own eyes, and because they're designed to see so far away, they have no close vision. Anyway, we still need to work on that thing. Okay, 24. Okay, Red Flanagan just said, maybe Renee has been studying arcane alchemy and treating gang members in limited capacity, but doesn't know surgery. Side plot, she's selling magical prescription designer drugs. Dude, I love everything about that.
Yeah.
Magical designer drugs is something that we either have talked about or need to talk about a lot more. I can't remember which one.
I have a lot of potential fantasy setting stories that I would love to do. They're not necessarily suited for talking upstream because you have to also develop the setting.
Yeah.
Which we found out when we did the that magical cop story that we did way back when. My favorite bit of which was that the police chief is a dragon.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
We got a whole bunch of stuff we could do in that. I would love to do an urban fantasy setting.
Yeah, we'll get there. We have a lot of ideas. We have some cool guests coming up soon. I met I'm not going to tell. It's a surprise. I met somebody who I think is kind of famous, and they're going to come on Talking Upstream soon. Anyway,
the person you texted me about?
I did, yeah. 24. Chaz pulls some strings and has Cole's death declared an accident, but implies that he'll start sending his injured gangsters to Cole's Hospital. Cole's Hospital, which is a is that a new soap opera that we're going to create soon?
It's a new soap opera where they do supernatural surgeries.
Love it. So much amnesia can happen in magic settings. Okay. In this scene, Chaz pulls some strings. Okay, so we don't really need to put anything on here, right?
Not really. The main thing we should focus on just right now is like Hidalgo and Chaz need to they fight effectively at the end, and we should probably have some sort of emotional resolution to Hidalgo. Maybe he asks about Sonny, and they're like, he's fine. Cole fixed him up. Renee's the one responsible. And then maybe Renee's been doing her own surgeries on herself, and she's the one who deals the final blow to Hidalgo, and they have to fight her instead. Like, there's a whole lot of stuff we can do.
Yeah, I don't think Hidalgo should be the big bad. I think that it should be a thing where Sonny talks it out, and they decide that Sonny is going to take over with Cole's guidance. I think that's great. I think Renee being like the big bad who gets away because of whatever, that's super cool. I'm into that.
Yeah.
And that's it for that part, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
All right, 20. All right, so 24, we figured all that out. Yeah, so maybe Sonny has set up like the gangster equivalent of a government a government contract. It's like, and we'll send all the people to Cole.
Or it's just like, we're only, from now on, we're going to send our people to Cincinnati General or whatever the hospital name is.
Yeah, I like that. And then 25 is Cole has dinner plans with his family after a successful operation. So this is the scene where we kind of wrap everything up and we show people like, hey, everything is honky-dory in in Gangsterville and in Cole's life. Because Cole is dead and they have constant money coming in. Things are easy peasy.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay, so what we would do with this now that we have pretty much every beat set up, what Dylan would do is take each one of those beats and then just kind of fill it in with some flavoring and some seasoning and a little more of his novelistic background to kind of give each scene a little more color to it. And then we would give that, we would take that to the script part, and then we would add just straight up dialogue, and that's what we would kind of hand to a director and say, let me see what you think about this. And then she says, this is too novelistic. And then we rework it for 6 more times. But
or we write this and submit it to a script contest, and we either get money or someone gives us notes, or we get promptly ignored, and then we do it again. And this is the life we've chosen for ourselves. And it never ends until I'm in the ground.
Yeah, or we have lots of money.
Have lots of money and things go great.
Yeah, which should be pretty soon, actually. But some things that I should let you guys know. Number one, if you're still watching this, please hit like, subscribe, anything at all. We really appreciate it. I'm a numbers junkie, and I see these numbers. I see you guys commenting and sharing, and it means the world to us. We really do this for free. We have a lot of time just making cool things, and we want to make some movies eventually that we would like to see, and we would like to keep creating it with you. So thank you very much for all of your time and attention. We do appreciate it. The people that we want to thank, obviously, McManhattan with Scene Snobs. Thank you so much for giving us a platform where more people get to see me talk to my best friend Dylan in front of his mommy, which she needs to know how much I love him. He's a very good kid, and she did a very, very good job. Also, Jeff Dwoskin with the Dwoskin Show, live from Detroit. Awesome dude. Check his show out. We have some Patreon people that we would like to thank also. If you would like to support what we're doing and help us take some more time off work so that we can write some more stuff and get some more creative things done and make more movies, because Give Me Back should be coming out pretty soon in festivals.
Pretty soon.
Yeah, but you can always go to patreon.com/Some Nobodies. Like Sarah Tkachuk, Tanya Sheck, Scott Curtis with Behind the Bits. Yeah, you're super cute, and your son is too. And also Listener app. If you're into podcasts and you want to see the words instead of hearing them, if you go to Listener app on your app stuff, your store thing, they inscribe the words. So instead of hearing me slur and mumble, you can actually see what I was supposed to be saying. But yeah, and if you want to find them faster, you can go to Instagram at The Greatest Podcast app. Okay, so Talking Upstream, which comes out every single Sunday, we have a great, great show. Last week we had Peter J.S. Regan on there. Awesome guy. Finally, we created my Alien Uplift, which turned into Rule of Thumb or something named. You can see all those things on our YouTube channel.
We did.
Scott Curtis. Okay.
You can shout out on every show we've ever done.
Okay, Scott Curtis not only is an award-winning podcaster, he is an award-winning interviewer, which is best. And he actually just won an award that I told Dylan about earlier of best podcasting grandpa that I know of. So congratulations, Scott Curtis. He is a pappy, and he has awesome shows. Honestly, if you're into comedy and you wanna know how the comedians came up with the jokes, check out Behind the Bits. Go to Listener app and look up Behind the Bits. You can find that at BEHIND, The Bits. Also, you can check his website out, which is btbpodwebsite.com. I'm just kidding. No, for real, Scott Curtis has been easily the best friend of us and the show, and has been, I think, our very first supporter. He was the very first person to say something nice to us, as a matter of fact. If you look down on the bottom here, you see a bunch of our shows that Dylan has wrote and I have talked on, and Dylan also appears. Obviously, he is equal parts of this. But you can see all that stuff. You can find all those things and so much more. And what we're doing with this project called Phantom Limb over at our website, which is somenobodies.com. We are literally on every major platform for everything. I think currently we're at like 15 shows. We're on Pandora. If you listen to podcasts on there, we're on Amazon. Yeah, it took me a full year to get on Pandora, but we did it. You can check out our award-winning podcast, Silicon Angels, which is right down here. Either on our website, SoundCloud, and Silicon Angels, whatever. Now, what we're going to do moving forward on this show is we do like this format. We like taking cool ideas and not just leaving them back there, working them through. And I asked Dylan earlier which one of the recent projects we worked on that he would like to continue. And one that he chose, which I'm very happy with, is Red Wichita. Now, if you haven't seen our episode of Red Wichita, go check out our YouTube channel and find that episode. It's a very, very cool concept. I forget.
It's a Twitching UpStream one, I think. Well, no, I want to look this up so I can give them accurate information.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think it is a Twitching UpStream, but the concept pretty much is that it was a 6-part podcast that Dylan and I created, where it is similar to the style of Serial, where they go to a city where a big superhero event went, and they have to interview people to find out exactly what was going on when a superhero named Superion comes for pretty selfish and devious reasons.
I think it's Twitching UpStream number 5. It aired on February 9th of 2021.
Yeah. All right, cool. So you can definitely find that on our on our YouTube channel. You can probably go to our website and find that also. But yeah, if you want to see how we came up with that idea and the cool comments that most likely Red Flanagan asked for, you go to that channel. But starting next week, we're going to start working on Red Wichita, seeing if it might have to change the title. I think it's a cool title. Maybe, who knows, whatever.
Yeah,
but either way,
that's what we're doing.
Yeah, we definitely really honestly appreciate anybody's attention. All the comments, all the shares, super, super grateful. We have a GoFundMe for our movie, which we're really trying to become actual creators where we put together stuff and get things together. Once we get done with the show, actually, we are going to review our first edit of our movie, which our great, awesome director, Savannah O'Neill, put together. And yeah, so we just want to make some stuff. So we appreciate you. Thank you guys very much, and do whatever you want to do. But until whenever you hear us next, which is on Friday, I think, for Real Boys, or Wednesday for Dwoskin Show, or Thursday where I talk to somebody, I have been Zach, and he has been Dylan, and you have been great. Goodbye, everybody.
Take it easy out there.